Can you hear me in the back? There's some echo. Look, I'm glad to be back here. Like last year, I skipped to come here. My wife, she wants to keep me around, that's why. Anyway, look, it's good to have you all here. Thank you very much for the great introduction. I haven't sent yet my updated resume yet. So it's still running with the 3 years back, I think. Paul, we worked together, Mr. Paul Bose, we worked together in Sri Lanka. We both were the national consultant under the JAF to help the Sri Lankan industry to improve. And this is where lean manufacturing started almost like in 2004, 2005. And some of you don't know me, I built the productivity improvement cell in Bangladesh for BKMA, which today carry about 14 engineers, fresh engineers from the university, and they're carrying so many improvement, but at a low level to help the knit sector, to improve. But today, Bangladesh is like you hear only lean manufacturing in Bangladesh. I think I created opportunity for many consultants. Everybody became a consultant today selling lean manufacturing, but please let me break it today and tell you about lean. Because we had experience even in Delhi. We started last year too. And I cannot share Delhi with you. I'm going to share it at the end because it's not a complete mission yet. There's a lot of struggling, no doubt about it. There's a lot of improvement somewhere at a low level, but I believe the potential is going to be much, much bigger than that when we jump into the fourth phase, which I'll talk about it later. But let me share to you with the real case study. And thanks my friend Richard from Walmart, Bangladesh is here, so his witness, the case is true, is not made up. And this case, you could find it even on GTZ website under Progress Program because they funded this project in Bangladesh last year. And I'm telling you, it's very impressive. So stay tuned and watch. Look, there's no video clips. I'm just going to talk about a little bit lean thinking. The apparel industry, I'm not going to read this because I have only 1 hour, 15 minutes left. So I'm going to just brief every slide quickly to get into the point. But by the way, Mr. Kesar, he allowed us probably 15 or 30 minutes extra in case we run out of time. Because Paul, he needs 45 minutes. I need about 2 hours. I'm trying to shrink it too. So, the entire world, it's a complex business today. How many of you have been in improvement, and at the end of the day never sustained? And, I just came back from Bangladesh, and I was in Vietnam, Bangladesh, and I came back to Sri Lanka yesterday, which I flew back to here. For the first time, I heard one gentleman from Sonia Group, he tells me he called me to visit his father. He said, Charles, I believe today, without sciences, there's no industry at all. And I believe with the time to come, the sourcing narrow is going to get narrow, narrow, narrow. Look at Nike. Look at Adidas. Look at other buyer, which one of them I'm going to talk about it today. They're going to downsize the sourcing channel because we cannot run the way we run. There's a lot of pressures every way. The market is changing. The business trend, as we said, walk into the customer's shoe and understand what the customer is looking for. And then you realize, what's value and non-value added. Delhi by itself has a lot of major problems in labor turnover. So instead of sitting and cry, we need to deal with those issues as well. So profitability and customer satisfaction, they remain the two main objectives that every businessman looks for. You cannot grow without profit, and you cannot have a business without customer satisfaction as well. And when I talk about customer satisfaction, it's not anymore about lead time. It's not anymore about cost only. Selling price is imposed on you anyway. You have no choice. What's left for you is manufacturing cost. When you look at your garment, it's like a big box of pieces of puzzles. How can I put them together to drive value at the end of the day? And this is where is the game. So beside that, we're talking about fast fashion turnaround now. We talk about 20. Zara talking about 30 collections a year. And I'm sure many of you do Zara here. 30 collections a year, it means you don't have time even to produce. They're talking about just-in-time 2 now, not just-in-time 1 even. Probably some of you don't know what's just-in-time 2, where they're bringing even the fabric supplier into the factory. This is how the market is changing, and you need to co-op with those changes. But somehow, something has to change. We need to start somewhere. So no profitability, no customer satisfaction, there's no business. Unless you want to grow only a company for prosperity of 1 year, then I tell you, just get a couple technical guys and change your floor and survive for 1 year. If you're looking really for 100 years of prosperity to grow, you need to grow people. You need to grow people, not only manager, not only CEO. You need to grow your own people, starting from line people. And they're still remaining today, the unhappy employees. No matter what you give them, they're still unhappy employees. So how are you going to drive your benefits and profitability by the end of the day? So case study is about George Asda. You know all George Asda? Especially George has a lot of customers, has a lot of vendors in India. So you're laughing. You know Paul Wright, right? So pressure is coming to your house very soon. They're talking about, first pilot concept started in Bangladesh for George last year. And we were nominated the consultant to plan it, to execute it, to monitor it, and to sustain it on the long term, which as the office, which is George's office, they have their own office today in Dhaka, they're controlling the project. On the basis of the project, a new project came on, which I'm going to talk about it at the end, and you see where George's agenda is heading in the future. So, I'm not going to talk about all the problems they have in Bangladesh. I think you've been hearing a lot, and probably some of these problems you'll be facing. George has an interest to increase the supply chain in Bangladesh. They have an interest, even in India too, because they believe they are Superman power in Bangladesh, and there's a lot of demand, but how can we grow it with all these troubles that we're facing today here? Delays in delivery, Ethical, we're talking today. You all know about ETI, am I right? ETI putting a lot of pressure on the UK. It's an ethical trading initiative. I did the seminar for ETI this March, on behalf of George Asda, and talking about how we increase wages, employee salaries in Bangladesh. Despite they already have a boom now of doubling salary, but George still talking about how to increase their salaries. And only through profitability you could increase all this. Otherwise, the owners, they're going to die. No money, no honey. Honey, the employees. So when it comes to Asda, we study, like I told some of the slides I'm going to skip, so instead of looking at me, you could read them too, because I'm not going to go over them. I'm going to jump directly into my points at the end. So unfortunately, few companies have improved so far. When you look at it, have improved. I don't see personally any company has improved. I'm going to show you at the end the evaluation of Asda factory, George factory. 275 questions to say if you are really lean at 20% level. This is how much we are totally disconnected. Trust me, it's not only the guy or only the managers, only anybody. It takes a lot of effort. If you are not ready for this, it's going to take a lot of effort. It's not a simple case. So conclusion, the irony here is that even when plant engineers improve, it's not enough. Still workers at the end of the day receive the least recognition for whatever they have done. And this is where George looked at it. So salaries in Bangladesh be frozen for many years, and at the end of the day, if they don't get this social side of the employees, there's no factories for George can operate according to the George requirement in the future to come. And this is where the entire issue has started. The project called today was last year, the Productivity and Social Enhancement Project. It's a productivity improvement and social enhancement to enhance ethically, code of conduct, and to enhance the life of almost about 3,000 workers under this pilot project. Today, George, they're talking about 15,000 workers to change their life in Bangladesh starting mid-October. I think this is better than this. Oh, you cut it. I just have it on carrying weight for nothing. Thank you. Can you hear me now? Look, am I going too fast? I get excited, that's why. Am I going too fast? Fine. A lot of students, I think, you're students, right? I got a lot of emails from Delhi. Everybody wants to become a lean expert. Is it for consultancy too? I don't know. Believe me, I got a lot of emails. I told them, please, do you have courses online? I don't do online, It's like my charisma can teach you. You have to see me face to face. So, giving rise to all these production costs, the project was born. So, we came out with a program for George. It's called the Practical Program of Revolutions in the Garment Industry. When I said revolution, we are breaking now every way, every method garment industry has done in the past. We're not taking even the way how we do operations breakdown. We're eliminating motions. We're eliminating handling. We're eliminating evacuation. We're going back to the micro motions even to build the best practices to reduce cycle time. Because there are two issues in lean manufacturing. You get waste, what you call, which contribute to labor utilization. Do you understand this? And there are cycle time, which the time that it takes to make the products. This is related to innovation. So instead of only focusing on waste, we focus on innovation and waste together, to boom it up. once for all. And this is where the project aimed for. Oops. You know, many companies, they said, we are lean today. You know, I'll tell them, how much you improve? We improve 5%, 10%, 20%, 30%. But you know how they improved? Downsizing your team. You know, if you have a line of 40 people, you know, 40 workers, you understand? Bring it down to 20. You still 20 people contributing to one product. What happens? You eliminate 50% of your problems related to employees' labor utilization. You eliminate 50% of handling. You eliminate 50% of evacuation of parts. You eliminate 50% of pick up the parts. Definitely you improve without even having a consultant on board. But this is not what we're aiming to do. We're not aiming just, you know, by changing your line, downsizing, and tell, Dad, you're improved now, pay me back. It's not that. Trust me, in Delhi itself, I'll tell you could double easily. You know, I get a result from factory, but I know they could go beyond that, and this is where my mission starts now. Now they live to see things. I'm going to merge a little bit Delhi with my presentation, just to keep you aware, because you're all interested to hear about Delhi more than about Bangladesh. But here my option is to let you listen about a case study, you know, what we have, how we overcame the entire projects in Bangladesh. We had a lot of trouble. We had a lot of challenges to come over it. But we did it at the end. With a lot of struggling, with a lot of efforts, with a lot of commitments. You know, in Delhi, same thing, you know. We focused, our job was, until now in Delhi, it was to make the people learn how to see things. But some people, they realize, you know, like, okay, I saw it, but it doesn't sustain now. I know it doesn't sustain sometimes. Because there are so many things we need to think about it, you know, to sustain. As I said at the beginning, we are looking for long-term objective. We are not looking at tomorrow, you know, if I could make it better for 6 months, then I bring charge back again. This is not what we're aiming to do in consultancy. That's why we don't do it, even Paul as well. We don't do the traditional consultancy. We don't do only come and fix my production line. We don't do all this. And if the management is not committed even to lean project, we don't take it even. Because it takes a lot of commitment from the heart, from the brain, from the mind, from the shoulder, not from the muscles, not from forcing people and all that. This is what it takes all. And at the end of the day, we are only one joint team, you know, to build it together. But you need to be patient. Many people here, they're not patient even. Not just in Delhi, we're not patient. Rome wasn't built in one day. You know, my father is from Lebanon. Lebanon is still building Lebanon for the last 40 years even. And every day they get a trouble, they have to rebuild it back again. You know, this is what life is all about. You know, lean thinking is all about work and life. You know, how you think and how you act. It's not about how you make it physically look to impress certain people. And at the end of the day, after 6 months, you look at your financial statement, you're still struggling. Where's the profitability? And I believe many people today, they're paying the money they made it in the past, which this money will disappear slowly. So the project came on board. The project was funded by GTZ and ASDA, 50-50. It wasn't funded by me. I was paid by them. So it was funded by Georgia and ASDA, 50-50, and the mandate of the project was 12 months, between 9 months to 12 months. We accomplished it on time. We finished it. We started in March, February, end of February, March, and we completed it on time. And if you look at the involvement of the consulting, you think probably the consulting was there for 9 months. Not at all. Not even a month. So three main objectives of the project: gain productivity, increase productivity level for the entire supply, and then ensure that productivity gains are shared fairly with the workers, because the main objective is to increase the workers' salary, and look at the sustainability at the supply level, because they don't want the project to die at the end. We had many challenges. We faced out with many challenges in Bangladesh. You know, Bangladesh is an industry dominated almost by military. I don't know if you are aware of this. When it comes to management, you know, you get the general manager, he's a colonel. You got lieutenant, you got brigade, whatever you call them. I don't know all the ranking in military. You know, and it's so hard, you know, to deal and break ice, you know, and break walls and make the people. You know, you take them to the battle, they will die, no problem. But to make them understand, you know, how you do lean logistic in the battle, it takes a lot of efforts. So the challenges were worker security. I'll go one on one. Probably you want to read. In Bangladesh, companies are dominated, overstaffing totally, lots of helper, lots of people. Improvement can bring a lot of reduction in staff. So one of the major factors is we need to avoid people losing jobs, because what's happened at the end of the day, nobody will commit to change because they believe, if I'm going to change, probably he will lose the job or you lose your job and this and that. George has guaranteed continuity in production, as long as the factory will guarantee that employees will shift to new value-added activity rather than just tell them go home. And nobody has lost a job in the project. The other thing, team spirits and mutual respect. As I said, it's a totally military-like management system. It takes a holistic approach, in order to break that wall. So this is a challenge the consulting has to face. So we came out to a lot of ideas and this and that to overcome all these troubles. Workers' involvement, Bangladeshi, they don't believe in their own people. Sorry, with respect to everybody. They don't believe in their own engineers. They don't believe in their own probably production manager. They always run for expats. Paul, he knows very well how it's dominated. You could find Sri Lankan, Indians and everything. Unfortunately, non-Sri Lankan, nor Indian, I'm not talking about North India, nor Indian, is not going to train any Bangladeshi to learn because they're all making big salaries. This is the first thing that we discovered in Bangladesh, and I think things is going to come with the time. You will see a lot of expats returning back home. Because what's happened at the day, when you get a CEO from Bangladesh or from Sri Lanka or India making $15,000, he wants people mindless, not better than robots. Why? Because without him, this company cannot run. That's why to justify his $15,000 salary. A lot of change is going to happen on the market in Bangladesh, trust me. Marks & Spencer, especially the UK retailer, Marks & Spencer, New Look, Mothercare, Asda George, even Walmart today, they're looking at Bangladesh in different aspects, in different angle in terms of improvement. A lot of pressure is going to happen. So the other side is pressure to achieve result. No matter you take a speech like this for 2-3 hours and talk about production is affected by many factors. It's not about like couple people together, and even with this, they come and tell you, so how much was the output? Look, who cares about the output? Who cares about the output? I remember one time, long time ago, I asked Anil Hydramani from Hydramani Club. I told him, what do you like at the end of the day? To make more money, less efficiency, or to make more efficiency and less money? Which one you like? Which one you like? More efficiency or more money? You don't want money? Exactly. So why you care about the output anyway? There are a lot of drivers that drive this productivity at the end. So it took us a lot of ways, trial and error culture. It's exactly what we are doing now in Delhi. Look, to create a pilot concept, we came to Delhi. Everybody tells me, Charles, we are good, we help you, we do this, we do that. I never rely on any people's feedback. I know they would say Charles is lazy. Oh, Charles, they don't know what they're doing. Or Charles, they know how to talk, but they don't know how to apply. Trust me. We test the people on the floor by themselves. We test the mindset. We test the culture. We test who's influencing whom. Because at the end of the day, when I want to build the management concept to support the people, I need to deal with all these issues. But people, they don't know, we're testing them all. That's why we run into pilot concept. We don't go over all changeover. We take small portion. Let's see the relation between people. Let's see why this doesn't sustain. Let's see why this employee doesn't love, what he's doing. He doesn't want to change. Why this manager, we need to test everybody because we are not from here. We don't, unless you call Charles, come and lobby in my own factory for 9 months. But are you willing to pay for Charles for 9 months? I'm sure not. So it's a joint program in Delhi. Same thing for Asda George. Joint program where the consultant act as a facilitator. I'll teach you guys, you fall, you learn from your own mistake, we'll bring you up back again, we'll teach you again, you fall again, then we bring you up, but trust me, you never go backward. But you'll see some result, even if it disappears tomorrow, but it happened. It means we are making it, and this is where we create strategic approach where management and workers to change the entire company, and at the end of the day, even if it takes like 10 years, I know your smile will be back on your face. I don't care what's going to happen between a period of 1 year to 2 years. You will blast me, call me, whatever you want to call, but I know after 2 years, I'll be the best friend to you. Do you agree with me? I'm sure you don't, but...
Been
No, 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 no. No, no, no. Delhi is going to finish in by December. You know, that's what I said. It wasn't easy to change. It wasn't easy to improve. It's a whole system approach and everything. But one thing we had from George Azda was fully, I'm saying, committed to the project unconditionally. It means tomorrow I tell George, listen, I'm going to change the quality system. I don't like it because this is the way how it's going to go. They took the risk with us to do it. So no factory can tell me, no, my buyer, he can't, my buyer, he could, my buyer. This is where it helped us a lot to overcome a lot of troubles because George was behind the project. So our commitment is to shift all this, you know, to shift the entire management culture and the mindset from what we call make it by the dozen is cheaper, but we don't believe in this anymore. We believe more in sense and response. We believe more in what we call it, you know, the value thinking. It means whatever makes it value, that's what I keep, and the rest I just kick it out. But it takes a lot of effort and a lot of knowledge, you know, to understand what's value. Even today, from same company, it happens here in Delhi. We take 10 people individually from the same factory, one by one. I'll walk with them the floor and I'll tell him what's value, what's non-value. One shoe is in the customer side and one shoe in the company side or the worker side. Trust me, the 10 people, they don't see the same value. So what does it mean? It means we are totally disconnected to the core objective. How are we going to drive that value if we don't agree together on the same value? So strategic approach was to remove all the blockage related to the financial performance. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about financial performance. We're not talking only about productivity. We don't talk about productivity. All these KPIs, you know, everybody talk to me about KPIs. Like, I don't like them anyway. Everybody tell me, we have KPIs to monitor quality. We have KPIs to monitor this. But when you scan those KPIs and you see how do they drive my financial performance, they don't meet even. It's only like just images and pictures and results. This is how much we're falsing ourselves when it comes to KPIs and all that. So the first thing we start is we said, you know, we need commitment. You know about the boot camp? Boot camp. You know, you take the military, you break them. This is where it started. We said, look, we have a dominated industry by military. We have dominated industry by no trust toward our workers. It takes a lot of holistic approach, you know, to break that ice, to break those walls and barriers. So this is where we start our mission by clarifying goals and make them understand. Today I don't know if you know Hamim Group in Bangladesh. We took Hamim Group in Bangladesh, is one of the largest group in Bangladesh, 26,000 employees, which they're going to grow next year to almost $500 million, I don't know how much, $500 million revenue. They're growing like this. They get everything in place. Last year they came to my workshop under Li Fong in Singapore, September. I don't know if anybody from Li Fong probably heard me because my conference was all around the world of Li Fong offices. They took from me ideas. 6 months later, they told me, Charles, come here. We need to meet you. I came to Bangladesh. They told me they saved over $1.2 million just from idea they listened to me. I prayed to my God. I said, at least somebody did. This is what I told you, military, they fight. When they capture something makes sense to them, believe me, they never sleep on it. We have to be proper military sometimes. What they did, they said, we reach a level charge, we cannot take it beyond that. Whatever we are able to see, we took it out. We saved 1 point on accessory, on spaces, on people, whatever it is. This is where we took the project. But to break that ice and to make the people understand, you know, like production is not only a couple operators running production. What does the drive line balancing? What are the factors? What does the drive method? What? We took them live into simulated activity on the floor to make them understand. Now they understood it. They're pushing us now for the improvement. They are able to move the entire company step by step now because we create an aligned organization where we all understand common objective, common purpose, common goals. So we don't deviate from those. So this is what it took us in ASDA project, clarity of goals and commitments to change. We set up our project office. In every factory, we have a project office which was monitored by George's team, ourselves, and GTZ. Even the consultant is not there, so somebody has to monitor the project. In your own factory, the owner of the company, the president, the chairman, the GM, the steering committee, and all that, this is where they need to monitor the progress. They need to help to support those steering committee. They need to support those core team members and all that. They need to support workers and all that in order together to keep moving toward the success of the project. When this doesn't happen, you always wait for Charles to give you a feedback or a report at the end of the day. We assess the company. We assess the company in many people. Some people in Lean, you heard about value stream mapping, right? You all heard about value stream mapping. I'll tell you, if you learn it from Toyota, I'll tell you are on the wrong foot. Trust me. Am I right, Paul? Everybody following Toyota, but you forgot Toyota produced one car order. You produce 1 million pieces order. Toyota, they do value stream mapping on one piece, which is one car, which has many processes to contribute to one car. You contribute to a carton box. Doesn't have one piece. So the entire approach in Lean, we call it Toyota. We talk about Toyota is about the Lean thinking, not about the TPS. Because this TPS doesn't apply in the garment industry. It's totally different. We are dominated by manpower, by massive labor. Toyota dominated by automation. They have predetermined cycle time, which we don't have it in the garment industry. So this is where it's totally different. So we assess material information flow, what it drives it. We assess even practices, people in relation to practices. We assess people in relation even to what we call processes. And we assess even the entire management concept in relation to practice and processes. Because at the end of the day, we look at all the key players, they're playing the role to deliver one garment in a profitable way, satisfying our own customer. Four factors were involved in the project. Even Paul, we had 5. One I just pulled out, and one is from, 2 companies are from India, Lenny and KDS. KDS is one of the largest in Bangladesh, which they do a lot of trims, accessories, this and that. And Lenny Fashion, it's a part of Epic Group. I think the 2 brothers, they split. They're based in Hong Kong, and they have a large company. Like in Lenny Fashion, they took one idea. Believe me, nobody stopped them at the end. They were moving it. It's all like about 25 people from Delhi, almost all from Delhi, at Lenny Fashion, and they drove all the improvement in the company by themselves after the project. We have Toyo company, has a red tag, am I right, Richard? Was on the red tag, totally out of business. Toyo Composite, and I'll tell you today, Toyo Composite, they're making 20 to 25% profit, including doubling salary of their employees. They were totally down. But this company, you know why it was easy? We didn't have manager. Production manager left. Don't hire another. 2 supervisors left, don't hire another one. GM left, don't hire another one. The factory is running almost by workers, 2 engineers, that's the entire company. 400 people. Now the owner, Mr. Mahbub, he said, I could play golf, we could have a meeting for 3-4 hours, nobody's disturbing us. They came back into green. Profitable company. Why? They gave their heart to change this company. It was totally on bankruptcy level. So these are the metrics, like partial list of the metrics and all that. You see, like at Lenny Fashion, I think they have about 500,000, see here? Almost 500,000 pieces on the floor, which they produce only 22,000 pieces. What's all this money? Insurance, money, security, whatever you want to call it, space and all that. When you look at all this, nobody can see on the floor money tied up to, capital tied up to overhead and all that. The only thing you see, output, output, output. Please forget this word, output. Think about the whole organization. Think about like everything you do within an organization, not only about one single thing. Let me check my time. I'm on time. I'll show you the result at the end. The root causes was we have totally disconnected value flow in the companies. What I mean disconnected value flow, in the production line, you have only probably cutting room, fusing room, embroidery probably, you have printing, you have probably what you call sewing floor, you have finishing department, and you have warehousing. But everybody look at the sewing like, hey, one section. For me, sewing is totally disconnected. Every worker is a process. Do you agree with me? You're coming from school, right? College. Same thing for me, education. When you come from education level, a process definition is very simple. Every time you pick up an inventory and you build another inventory, this is where process starts and ends. So sewing operator, every sewing operator is a process by itself, totally individual. So despite we have a line and they work as a team and this and that, but at the end of the day, it's one-on-one. Everyone is working alone. Delhi is almost like this. Delhi is almost like this. Bangladesh is like this. Sri Lanka is like this, but has changed recently, Sri Lanka. You know, all this was built in the past when we used to have mass production, run one style, specialized employees on one piece, one garment, one color, one size, and run a huge production. And still people tell me, you know, yesterday I was hearing somebody's telling me, you know, this factory, they run 92% efficiency, same style, non-stop, and they were proud. I said, my friend, Jamaica, you know how slow in Jamaica, they walk slowly? Merengue music, you know? Ladies, they know merengue. Merengue music, they walk slow and everything. Operator used to run 145% efficiency. Repeat motions, repeat motions, repeat motion. But what they have standardized practices. They know how to do the operation perfectly. They have synchronized helpers, which they don't waste time. This is what we forgot it. We slept on a concept and we thought we just build on it. You know, when we talk about cellular manufacturing and lean manufacturing, it's about be flexible to change. If tomorrow I change a body and I change a new style, I need to change the way how I run even. This is how much you need people to run. It's not about workers, trust me, it's not, your improvement is not about workers. The last person you look at is your sewing operator. The last person I look at it. I start looking at the president, I start looking at the GM, I start looking at the factory, I start looking at the IE, supervisor. Those people, they make your production happen at the end of the day. 99% of your problem is coming from you guys, from the top management, not from your own operators. Don't tell me operators, they don't want to change. Operator, think about it, why they don't want to change. Why? It's better even if I have a big labor turnover in Delhi. Why? Because I build a new practice, and the new one comes in, my company start building up. Be happy. You don't have to fire people. They go by themselves, and you build a new concept on the new coming. Do you agree or not? Look, but if you don't have what we call the recruitment criteria, what I'm looking for and how to do it and what to do and where to put them and how to train them and how to connect them and how we support them, definitely you're not going to build anything at the end of the day. Look, if I shout, I'm not shouting, you know, I get excited. Look, I've been doing this for almost since 1992. You know, like lean manufacturing for me is like close my eyes and talk about it. So, two things in lean manufacturing is, in lean organization, you know, we're trying to change the world in Bangladesh. As I said, there are too many people now saying, we are lean consulting, we are lean consulting. We have a program today, it covers about 26 important key. We call them practical program of revolution and garment factory. It's turning your company 360 degrees in different way. But it's all related to lean thinking. But not TPS, not Toyota, even with changing the word Kanban, supermarket and everything. Why people, they need those fancy words? Just apply some Indian words. You know, we have Kanban, we have bundle cards in Delhi. So why we have to change it, call it Kanban tomorrow? It's the same thing. You know, this is, don't go for formality and for images. Look at the heart of the problem where you're bleeding. And disconnecting misaligned organization, which we have a lack of strategic support to the workers producing the value added at the end of the day. What happens at the end of the day? It collapses and everywhere. And this is how the industry is built. So when I talk about continuous flow, what you are facing today, you are facing no standardized work. Now you tell me, no, Charles, we have an industrial engineering. I tell you, you don't have industrial engineering, you have work study department. You know, in Bangladesh, supervisors start doing work study. You know that? Ask any engineer coming from university, he tells you it's a boring job. God created probably talented people to develop courses in engineering, to build the brains and to build people to think, to create. You bring them and you limit them and you give them only, do some couple shots, do this and do that. Today we're lending people like on the floor, close to the people, to the operators, you know, to work on work study. We changed totally the structure of work study. We call it true engineering. And it's based on a lot of fundamental issues which totally project oriented to develop and help the company to progress. Because somehow you need to set your first standard, and those standards, they become the baseline for you for improvement in case of any deviation. We have a push quality system, creating police station, creating this and that, but this is not lean. Lean is not looking about push quality system. You know, this is what the industry. You know, today, since last September, Lee and Fong, if you know the brand Coles International, we are the consultant now, branded lean manufacturer until Coles International through Lee and Fong from Hong Kong. We started last year. We have done in China, in Vietnam, in Bangladesh. We covered all their operation around the world. They came to our conferences. start the brainwashing about lean manufacturing and lean thinking because they believe quality can improve only through lean thinking. There's nobody can improve quality unless you work together. And how are you going to work together without lean thinking? A group of individuals, we all disconnected. Everyone run on his own. And you tell me even if you have a work-study department, you build all these work methods, you define your own costs, you send it to your buyer, but tell me something. Do you think your operator doing your work method that you establish? Tell me something. Do you believe it or not? I'm sure not. Anybody work-study here? Nobody. Good. I thought you work-study. Do you believe you operate and practice your own work method? I don't believe it, me. Do you agree with me? Don't worry, nobody here now. To some extent, it means they don't practice it. Unless they practice. Because you need one engineer for one operator, and every 5-6 days you change style. How are you going to keep building it? Oshkosh B'gosh in Florida, when they built modular team for the first time in 1993, do you know who built their operations? They said, look, one thing I cannot change is cycle time. No matter what I build, they're going to run on that cycle time. If I could take this waste away and make them aware about all this and let the people drive this community and I give them one final cost, Oshkosh B'gosh was built on the operator practices by themselves. No engineer, they were only big support with the management system. Look, there's a lot, look, this session is not a lean manufacturing session, but there's a lot to talk about it. But don't be influenced by what you read. There are no books even tells you about lean manufacturing when it comes to the apparel industry. We read only about the culture, which is the most important. Now, even if you build, what I showed you before, even in Bangladesh, if you build the practice and all that, without performance policy, without, problem-solving technique management, learn how to troubleshoot at all levels, even operators in Bangladesh today can troubleshoot a problem related to her, which I'll show you what they troubleshoot. That's what I said. You don't need a work study. You don't need supervisor and get people only closing their eyes and operating without thinking. So when you look at it, there's no skill development, there's nothing. So there's a list of issues where didn't create that concept of management support, to guide those people. So to become an aligned organization, this was on the, to become an aligned, there's a list of things you need to take it into consideration. Not one single item can work alone, things will collapse. It's an overall change from the mind to the floor, to the people, it's from top to bottom. If I want to put it in a chart, lean competency elements, what we did in Delhi, only the yellow columns. In Delhi, we worked only on the practices, on the processes. People, they experimented. They found there's a difference between what I'm doing today and what I could do it. Probably I could say at 25, 30% level, and still some result came out. But what you see in the blue color was still not there yet. This is starting about around mid-October, because nothing is going to sustain at the yellow level if the blue level is not there. So the human system, Toyota is all about, the lean culture is all about the human system. How to create talented people to drive improvement through the entire organization, to enable them to perform, to engage in improving. This is what's in the lean culture. So this is what's the project of ASDA. We create the people to support processes, and we create management to support people. We design an improvement plan. So I design improvement based on the assessment and all the problem we face and the challenge that we have. We design totally an approach in an improvement plan to lead us to the future state. But before we get into this, we have mutual agreements. So ASDA and George and GTZ, including us, we sat down with every owner of the factory. We came out to mutual agreement on KPI on deliveries. So because we have a set of deliverables at the end of the project, this is what we're expecting out of it. So we agreed, we shook hands, and this is where the mission started. Many companies in Delhi, they experimented manufacturing cleanup activity. It's not a 5S. People, they call it 5S, but I don't call it 5S. It's called manufacturing cleanup activity. Because we haven't created a committee yet in 5S to sustain the 5S. So what we did before we move into changes, we need to clean the mess. Because otherwise, like disorganized place, cluttered place and all that, it's very hard to improve it if you cannot see through. So what we did was impressive. Many companies, the look of the companies has changed. And some of them, they have improved a little bit by cleaning the company even. Because it makes everything more clear compared to what was before. Everything is hidden. The step 7, my time. Awareness campaign. This is where I think in Delhi we haven't approached it yet. Because we didn't know about the mindset of the people. In Bangladesh, we know very well. We've been in Bangladesh for almost 10 years. But we tested out as well. Campaign, it means it's an awareness program where management, top management, they sat down as you see them with the operator, telling them honestly, we neglected you. And they explained about the entire issue, of a change on the market for Bangladesh operator in a way they understand it. We create a campaign, fun campaign, people that come singing, sharing food, for almost like 3 months the campaign been going while we're changing. We create a new culture in the company. Top management, employees all working together, having good time and all that. We need to change the atmosphere. We need to break this, I don't trust you and you trust me. So the campaign was really interesting, and at the end, once we have the interesting part of the workers to understand about what we are aiming for, we just ask them, who wants to participate in the pilot project to help the company to build its own practices for long-term prosperity? Many people raised their hand, and on that basis, we created teams. We didn't impose people on us. Charles, take those people here and those people and help them because they're free or they're slow. We needed people to help us to build, not people to challenging us. This is the dilemma here. Some people, they take a consultant and the manager starts challenging the consultant. No, this is how we do it. Show me how you do it. Which one is better? We didn't come to challenge. As I told you, we are a facilitator. We're not lobbying full-time in the company. We come and help you, educate you, teach you. You fall, we pick you up. And this is how we did the project. So this is where we build a team with us to support us, to contribute even value. And all the ideas, trust me, came from the factories, not from us, by driving their thinking. You are the best people in your own factory, not us. So this has happened. We developed a talented program. We developed 360 minutes only for workers, but was split over 1 week to 2 weeks. We took them live into practice, the workers. They really understand what's waste. I don't follow Toyota ways. I don't follow those 7 type or 8 type. Everybody tells me, 8 type ways, I know them. Access motion, all that. You could read them everywhere on the internet. But you look at the garment, there's about 100 type of waste anyway. But at the end of the day, all these ways they contribute. Paul is laughing. Me and Paul, we've been together for a long time, and this is a common subject. We've been talking about it. When you look at about a waste, what it drives your financial performance, there's nothing. The books, to create books and to write books, just categorize the Toyota waste under 7, 8 categories. But at the end of the day, they all contribute to labor utilization. The milestone implementation, you're going to see now the results. So what will happen after that, we have 2 objectives here. The first one is to enhance labor utilization. It's the main driver to your financial performance. Every employee in the company has to contribute value. First of all, you don't know what value is. So how you want to know what they're contributing anyway? So this is what's all enhancing labor and machine utilization. And the second one, enhancing workplace, which we have done in Delhi. If you read this workshop, I need the authorization. I never gave you this. I don't know if you get any printout here, but for Asda George, I have restriction on documentation and anything. But the result, you could see it on progress under GTZ. And Richard is the witness from Walmart. Because Asda is in partnership with Walmart, and they have the common office in Bangladesh. But George is split now, I think. They split, huh? So it happens by luck, Richard was here. So these are the factories, like KDS, Toyo. This is the company was going bankruptcy. But believe me, before was loaded like 100 million pieces on the floor, garbage everywhere. Today they save 1 complete floor, the entire operation running under 1 floor from fabric to carton. There's no almost supervisor in this plant. There's only 2 guys engineer running almost 250 operators. The entire company is about 400 because they have embroidery and all that. Even if you have a company of 10,000 employees, you could have multiple companies in one company and consolidate your cost where you could control it. This is what you look, rather than live in luxury and space and becomes out of control. We're building a factory in Bangladesh. It's called MBM Group. The company is under the group's cutting edge. We totally designed the company from scratch, from landmark to trademark. If you will see the practices you never seen in any trousers industry, it's going to be total revolution. Because this company, the owner was committed. We brought 4 guys from Sri Lanka, strong engineers, mechanical engineers, because we're building practice where we're going to reduce cycle time, operation, motions, and everything. And imagine the company was 2,000 employees, this plant. We're going to bring it to 1,200. They produce 250,000 trousers. They're going to go up to 400,000. 800 people less, almost 85% more productivity. And it's going to be from store all the way to packing, to cartoning, all multiple floor, multiple company, very lean management system inside. But it's nice because everything is built from scratch. So today, all the testing of the systems and all that going into existing company. So when you build a new company, it's so easy compared to when you change the old habits of... So this is Toyo, and this is where now they moved this area here. They have their own cutting room. Like in the trouser today, we have one cutting table of 12, 14 meters with multiple teams of 56 people, but many cells, and they all contribute. Even Lenny Fashion, they do the same thing in Bangladesh today. Totally under one control. It's so easy to control your cost when it comes to cost control. So this is partial result of KDS. If you look at increased labor utilization, it went up by 65%. We increased labor utilization from pilot concept. Lenny 42, Toyo 58, and Valiant 60. If you look at even productivity-wise, what is this productivity? Reduced throughput time, reduced rework time, increased utilization. You will see it on the increase sewing finishing. KDS, 145% increase, and they do polo t-shirt, organic polo t-shirt, very complicated, with 16 employees, full garment, including pressing, 145. The first time when this team came on board, they told you, no, we need supervisor. They're all scared, you know. They worry about quality. Sorry, I'm not looking at you there. They worry about quality and all that, but after 2 weeks, they don't want anybody anymore. It was led by them. And it came to 145% increase. Lenny 28, Toyo 70%, Valiant 55. But you see the comparison at the end in numbers, before and after. So what happened with these numbers is many of them eliminate the overtime. But they ensure the employees. I eliminate the overtime. You give me the same productivity. I give you the same salary as an overtime. It was less for everybody because the company saved electricity, overhead, security, everything. When you look at the whole picture, there's a lot of monies everywhere which you cannot control it. This is what I call the policy, where we did policy and performance management. At the end of the project, we need to drive improvement. Like if something deviates, how can we revise? So top management, they have some issues where to improve. Workers in the bottom, if you look at it, workers that control work method, hand motion, line balancing, quality, level of WIP, skill development, and technical development. It's all done by the workers. The methodology being implemented is monitored by the operator's leader, easily and slowly, no work study, nobody to control it. If you look at the upper level supervisor, engineers, and all that, they support everything between departments, not related to the operators. And if you look at the middle management, they support everything related to within the corporate, and the top management is anything beyond the corporate when it comes to supplier, when it comes to investment, and I'll show you some at the end of the slides here. So this is policy deployment, and you cannot come to this if you don't go through what we have done in Delhi so far, because at least we need some kind of thinking to make the people understand why I need to monitor WIP, why I need to monitor this and that, and this is part of the management concept. Support concept, we created in the Delhi multifunctional team from merchandiser in order for us to protect order changeover. Because I cannot have the merchandiser alone and the quality guys alone. Even Toyo, they had 2 merchandisers sitting at the head office and they had a trouble with them. They told Mr. Mahmoud, please boss, can I have one work merchandiser, but don't let the other merchandiser of the factory deal with us from the head office. Now their merchandiser is in the factory. They have no problem. The entire company is totally aligned now. They delete everybody from the other side. No connection with the head office anymore. So we create a management concept to support at the end the workers. But at the end of the day, like the big reward goes not to the consultant, not to the management, but to the people that contributed with their heart, big effort, struggling, fighting, some people crying, operator crying and all that. I played like the good father. We reward the people. The companies start giving them incentive, giving them kind of rewards and all that, to felicitate and congratulate them. Salary. This is the big job. KDS 13% increase after the pilot, Leng 20%, Toyo 29%, and Van 21%. Unfortunately, after we increase those salary, the government double the salary this coming November. So the companies, you know, they get like another double and everything, but that's okay. This is part of the project. But the company were able at the end of the day to achieve the ultimate goal of the project is to share productivity gains fairly with the workers. And this is still monitored until, I think the George, am I right, Richard? Still monitored, going on. Every quarter, they still going to the factory and still factory progressing. So nothing, non-stop. So I tell you, it takes a lot of hassles that you build the culture within the organization. This is the result you see before and after. If you want to have a quick, some of them I like when it comes to inventory, like when you pay from $500,000 to 183. But this first time improvement, remember, improvement for us is not only one shot and then you sit on your pillow. It's a continuous journey. It means they had long-term goals. This is where George's team and GTZ still monitor the progress of the project after even the departure of the consultant. These are some. This is Toyo. This is where Toyo went from 32% performance to 75%. You know, how much you spend time here to improve efficiency? And how much you get, 5%, 2%? Tell me, gentlemen. How much you factor, how long you factor running probably at the same efficiency, despite you have many improvement projects. This company, Toyo, we didn't improve the work practices. We just connected the people and we improved this. The efficiency boomed up by itself. When I see results like this, my belief is, I believe garment industry possesses over 80% of wastage when it comes to labor utilization. I believe labor utilization, even in there, it doesn't exceed 40%. 40%. Why I want to set up a new factory? Why I don't put all the trouble and all the hassle, instead of paying $5 million to a new factory, pay probably $200,000 and improve your own. Double it. But you need to be patient again. You know, I keep telling people, but sometimes we forget about being patient. It's a long way to go. It's not something we're building only for tomorrow. It's something for a long term. So we're looking at the sustainability out of it at the end of the day. This is kind of the result. Overall evaluation. But before we leave, we evaluate the facts. We correct what they have done, where they end up, what's a mistake, what does it require, and this and that. Let me show you a quick evaluation here. This, nobody asked me to give you evaluation. 275 questions, how lean the factory is. You know, we take them organization support. There are so many questions level, management commitment, slow promotion, reward, teamwork. There are so many, so many. Yet at the end, you know, we call here. This Toyo factory, that you saw now, improve 145, whatever it is. Look at how lean they are. They are only 22%. What does it tell you? Probably you can go up to 400% improvement. This is how much, there's no limitation for improvement, gentlemen. These are only 22% in lean. They are so we gave them a report, which as the now George, they mounted the project because their target by end of 2010 has to be 45% lean, which we're gonna go back and evaluate the factories. This is where the commitment comes from the top management to control it. But when you deal with independent factory, we were lucky we had a buyer behind us. But when you deal with the factory here, we don't have a buyer. But I believe if I have a buyer here, I will make things different in Delhi. And I'm glad George is coming to Delhi because we're going to have a project, because the future of George by 2013, everyone has to be lean. They, you know, after this pilot project in Bangladesh, they buy because it was more than expected. It went beyond their expectation. They never believed it's going to be like this. And on that basis, now they're building the future. Now the new project we're going on, look, there's a, just to cover this, there are so many, this is what we give them our recommendation for the factories, and on that basis, the team will monitor them for the next year. So imagine making 25% profitability, double salary of your employees, eliminate waste and all that, and still only 20% lean. This is not a report made. I told there's a gentleman from Walmart, witness, probably GTZ, some people are here, and this is Bangladesh, and you could find all this information everywhere. That's why I said, let me share this boom. Last year I wasn't able to share it because what started, and I remember when I took the project of ASDA, I think Mr. Handa, you remember, I was sitting first day in your office at the conference room, talking with Orient Fashion, then I got an email on my iPhone. I look at the email, Charles, the meeting being set up, you leading the project of ASDA. Oh, they shook my hand. Yeah, Orient Fashion. I think you were the luck. And that luck is going to pay back. You know, you understand what I mean? So we're not going to give up. Our mandate is don't give up. Don't give up. Be a fighter. Don't give up. I know you don't have time, you're busy with market, but don't give up. So this is the evaluation. And after that, this is Paul Wright. You all know Paul Wright? You know Paul Wright from ASDA? From George? So this, I thought at the beginning you were smiling. I said you would. Oh, so we'll get directly. The gentleman is behind the. So this is the celebration. We celebrate with people. We had a great parties. We distribute. We give them even a reward that you have on the top, George Lean Achiever. This is the ceremony done this year in February in Dhaka, and they brought all the other factories, the George, because they want to kick the second project of George. So the commitment George has set with us, we set 12 months commitment to the company. Top management, I mean, I'm talking CEO and the owner, they have commitment related to organizational development, related to managerial capabilities, and to incentives and promotions. And this is carried for almost 1 year. You see the month on the top, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months. And then you have factory initiatives in the bottom. This is commitment of the factories. And from middle management. Then we have commitment for pay grade. Sorry, I cannot let you read that much because I have to accelerate. Paul is looking at me. I still have time?
Yeah, I still have 15 minutes.
What 15? But 30 minutes. And then we have what we call administrator and line workers. So there are so many objectives, and the entire company has already the lean thinking, which they're going to drive improvement to reach what we call the 45% in lean. So coming from, in summary, we simplify practices, we standardize them, processes, we create a multifunctional team at management concept to support people, we connect every worker to the core objective to drive changes, and at the end of the day, we create a policy deployment to get everyone improving. It looks like this. Standardize and problem solving equal to continuous improvement. Continuous improvement cannot come if I don't have this. Continuous flow where you have your people, support management to support the people in the continuous flow, and a policy deployment to all contribute, working together to keep improving any deviation out of the standard, and that's what you call lean culture of continuous improvement. Lean culture is all about continuous improvement. Happy employees. You know, those employees, when I saw the first day, they look bad, sad, no smile. You know, this picture, I kept it even in my office because it reminds me about, I don't care if I have 20 years of experience, that picture pays me off for my 20 years of experience. I have a good heart, and sometimes I take my work as more emotional because I'm very emotional toward the people. You know, like when I go to Bangladesh, I see people how they're suffering. Believe me, it takes a lot of effort. Field consulting, gentlemen. My field consultants spend only 38 days per factory to improve. My job, I was lazy, only 7 days. So it's not a consulting of 6 months or 9 months. It's a time from your side. When you're ready to invest in your own time and your own people, then start thinking lean. But if you're not ready, you don't have time because you're busy and busy and busy, don't waste the time. So imagine if I go to your factory and I waste one day out of 10 days, how much left for you? Because for me, every day, I contribute a lot of value to whatever I do to you. So if you look at it, almost like 1.5 months in a period of 9 months. This is the role what we're doing in Delhi as well. In Delhi, we haven't spent more than 15 days per factory. What's next on George's agenda? We're taking now a new project in Bangladesh, 20 factories to change the life of 15,000 workers. It's going to be full transformation because we don't do only lean manufacturing. manufacturing. We do lean administrative as well and lean accounting. They're going to take the entire supply chain from offices, from merchandiser, even coming to the accounting, because we're going to change the accounting into lean accounting. You cannot see the benefits on the traditional accounting system because your raw material, saving and all that is all hidden under sold goods. So lean manufacturing splits it totally, lean accounting. So we're building total supply chain for George Vendors. Starting the project mid-October. Don't tell me I don't have time, I still have time because I'm only 60 days. My consulting, we have 12 consultants today in Bangladesh, all fresh engineers from Bangladesh. They've been under trained for the last 6 months because we don't need technical people. We use the factory techniques. We use only their talents. The next on agenda by 2013, this is the last discussion with George Asda, lean organization only worldwide. This is where probably will be coming to India. It's going to start, I think, after the project. We kick off the project because what we think about how to build on, for the rest of the world. And this is what Nike did, Adidas did, Mark Spencer is going for, Li Fong as well, everybody. Coming back to Delhi, India Gate. This is what we call it, India Gate, am I right? That's the gate. We have about 8 factories. There was 9, but 1 is still on the slow motion. And the first stop, that is mobile, not mine. iPhone is very strong when it comes. We have one company called MM Exports, which they are going lean offices, not lean manufacturing, because they want to do everything prior to contractor, because most of the operation is moving to subcontractor, and lean office will do it differently than lean manufacturing. It takes about 8 days, we'll finish. 8 days only. We take the entire office, we'll shift it over, and we'll break down this lead time to whatever it is. So what's blocking Delhi? The project player, as I said at the beginning, we act as a players, we act as a facilitator, we are not really the field consultant. We create the project champion, where he's supposed to be full authorized by the top management in order to conduct, similar to the ASDA project we have done. So I'm going to skip quickly on those because I've been sharing with you between Delhi and Bangladesh. It's similar to this. So as I said, it's lean manufacturing and lean office at the same time. So this is not almost a case study because it's not complete. It's still, I could say, about 30-40% at its progress. It's still at the trial and error culture. It's not yet at a sustainability level. It's not yet at the management concept level. So the main objective was, and all this was really to make the people see, learn how to see, and to get them into this alignment to these same things, rather than everyone. If you take your quality manager, if you take your engineering, you take every department and you tell the people, you stand against this wall, you stand against this wall. And you split them and you tell them, give me your objective, the best value that contribute to my workers on the floor. I will guarantee you, none of them has the same common value that contribute to your own KPIs as well. This is what I'm saying, there's a lot of disconnectivity. It takes a lot of time, to build it all up. So we based everything on deliverable, and our deliverable, they were monitored, which I show you here, by what we call factor affecting those KPIs. If you look at the green, I cannot see the gray color. How can I make this seeable? Because inside the cells, under the blue color, there are gray colors, where you could see all the factors impacting your KPIs. It means the changes is not at a single point. We teach the people how to see improvement as a set of activity, a set of connections and flow. Is not only to relate it to one operation, one person, and one line. So when you look at it, there are so many drives, impact your KPIs, which you need to deal with them and as an interrelated whole. So we need to build them all together and track them incrementally, slow by slow, but all at the same time. What they impact those performance measures is the entire management system. It's not only engineering, it's not only quality, it's not only supervisors, everything you do in-house almost, which are the key impact on continuous flow, which are the key impact on the practice and processes by your own people. So this is where we are. This I haven't done yet in Delhi. This is starting on mid-October. It's going to be the big hit now to bring this factory to a better level. We designed the improvement plan based on those. And implementation progress, we develop a new layout and team concept. This is what we have done so far. We did line balancing via production Kanban, and we did quality at the source as well. Some of the company probably they sustained, they monitor them, but we were looking at sustainability at this stage. We're looking only at learn by doing. That's what we're trying to do. First result, this is all the training program. Like this is, I think you have it all. You have the printout on those? Because you could always have them, like you just ask OGTC. You could have all the Delhi project. When you look at this, you know, this is all training program that we transfer to the champion, which a champion was supposed equally transfer it to the core teams and the steering committee. In some factor, what's happened, champion wasn't too strong, wasn't able to teach his boss about, you know, certain things and this and that. Some company, the steering committee was too strong, totally committed, you know. We have a lot of struggling, you know, from factory to another factory, but somehow a result came out. But all these struggles, it's a time where we're going to face them all now. This is the result. I let probably Orient Fashion, Mr. Rahanda. You want to introduce or I'll go over it? So he's the witness, huh? He's holding the witness. But probably could address a couple of words if you want.
You see, we were one of the companies. We were one of the companies. We were one of the.
Do like a. Do like Bill Gates. You kick it.
You see, we were one of the company under Mr. Charles' leadership. We have initiated this project, and results are there. We have really got very good advantage by implementing this project. And as Mr. Charles has told, we wanted to go ahead and do some more and more implementation in other places where we got some restriction unless the rollout plan systematically it is not done, it will not stay. So maybe we will be doing it now, maybe mid of October. And overall, I can say this project has really helped our organization to open our eyes and how systematically we can really improve, and how the workers' involvement, in the project can give us a very, very good results. We did a lot of, I got a presentation, but there is no time to give the presentation. And we involve people, we make the steering committee, and then we have whatever training was given by the Mr. Charles that we communicated to the training committee. Then ultimately it has gone to the people, those who have really implemented this. And it was a very systematic approach. If anybody wants any particular questions to ask how we did it, I will be rather happy to answer question if anybody has asked. Otherwise, I can say that the company has benefited a lot, and still the rollout is pending. It's a rollout. Anybody, if any question, I will be happy to
We'll do the questions at the end, I think.
Okay.
No, I think what we'll do is anybody has any questions, you can do it in the lunchtime because we are on time limited. So we'll continue with that. There may be so many questions you need to ask and seek. That's the right time on a one-to-one basis. So Charles, you may please continue.
So what we did, Orient Fashion, they were kicking off the project and they tried to roll it out very quickly. I sent a long email and I stopped it because I believe if they roll it out, they're going to fall into many troubles because they cannot handle the progressivity of modular teams. Now they're still at early stage with one concept. So because there's a management concept system has to build in order to support whatever you change, then we roll it out on that basis of practices. The second company was Radnik. Same thing? Well, I could just put the results on the board here for Radnik as well. Radnik, what's happened is similar to Hamimi Group in Singapore. When they heard us talking about lean manufacturing, they carried forward a lot of improvement before even we came on board. Am I right? They have changed a lot because I remember when I met you last time, you told me I already changed this, I already changed, which is good, you know. Didn't make our life difficult because now I cannot prove to them I could improve better. There are so much margin of improvement in all that. Even I want to show you PM Pro, but I put others there too. It depends on the time, so I'll skip. We have so many, you know, in factory response. I just listed down here the 8 factors that we're dealing with just to have a global idea what's happening inside without naming the factory. Like factory 1, everybody's committed, everybody was totally aligned, and we have no trouble in driving, and I believe they will go much higher and higher with the time to come now. Second factory, top management is not involved, but luckily the champion was too strong, which I think they gave him the full authority to carry forward the project, and we had a good time as well. We have no problem. But when it comes to the entire top management, we look at sustainability. If they won't engage, it won't sustain as well. The last one, steering committee member, this is where we had deviation in their mind. You know, we start the project and everything, like the owner, he wants to remove only numbering. I said, come on, we're talking about lean culture here. We're not talking only about numbering and this and that. There was a lot of deviation and everything. Finally, the champion fought so much. Now they came back on track and they're doing the implementation as we speak. I told you we have a struggle, but at least we're going to come over them. We just don't die. We said, hey, I'm out. Because I saw, you're going to have a problem all the way for the next probably, I don't know how many. Factory 4, the owner was totally committed, 100%, but he was influencing, he was the influential man. It means, if he's not there, nobody will listen to the middle management, and middle management were totally out, unless he comes back and they were engaged. So we have a problem even as sustainability and all that. But as I said, we weren't looking at sustainability as we speak. The factory number 5, there are so many. You know, when I read the description, I know which the factory is, because I know them by heart, by description. From the beginning, resulting in zero. Okay, this company here was very impressive because they already practiced the concept, but with bad habits. But they were able to overcome all these bad habits. It makes our life as a consultant much easier because they understand about team concept and lean manufacturing. And I believe, but it happens they had run of orders in order to keep continuity on the progress. But doesn't mean the project we stop now. This project still at 30-40% stage. And hopefully, inshallah, we're going to keep it by mid-October, and it's going to complete before the end of the year. Because it's going to be my Christmas and New Year gift. For you, I mean, not for me. Factory number 6, so I keep always the more troubled one. Factory number 6, you know, it's, today, this morning, I was talking about there's a huge, huge potential of improvement. They improve so much. We have the result, they improve so much, but there's a huge potential still hanging somewhere there. But the lack of commitment from top management, even the champion, what's happened is, only when the consultant comes, he has to pull them in. So this is, I don't know if it's the project because it was dragging too long or because this is something I'm going to be dealing with on mid-October. I believe there's a lot from the internal side. It's not about the duration of the project. Factory number 7, unqualified champion. They selected a champion because he's free. They say, hey, he's free, take him. He ended up a guy, he is unqualified, he doesn't know anything about IE, no background, no production background. He has struggled, you know, to train people even in the factory. It took them a while. Today they have, I think they recruited somebody from abroad. He came here, and now I think they're moving back into the project, into the implementation phase, number 3. Number 8, I think this is, I'll tell you the company name, it's MM Export, because we haven't done anything yet. There's no trouble yet, but I think we'll change it within maximum 2 weeks. It's only lean offices. Lean offices, how we do it. It's only one Kaizen event. We come in, we troubleshoot it, we map it, we change it, and we leave. We don't drag it as a project because it's only one area. So this is the company. Consultant intention, this is what I told you at the beginning. We have a reason why we do pilot concept. It's not because, you know, like, I want to prove to the owners, you know, how good we are as a consultant. I don't care about how much people they think if we're good or not. We've been in lean manufacturing, sorry for my word, we've been in lean manufacturing for since 92. We've been improving, you know, I just set up a park in southeast Turkey, in Şanlıurfa, 60,000 jobs, eco-friendly, lean supply chain, which George is going to source from them as well. You know? It's not because we don't know it. As a consultant, we know what we're supposed to do. We know how to approach it. But if I come and I tell you, you know what, pay me $100,000. I come 6 months, I change the entire company, I go home. But what you're going to get at the end of it, you're going to die again with this concept. Our mandate is really to assess the mindset of the people, to see how they react to change it, what is happening inside. And I tell you, my consultant Udara in Delhi, every day I got reports from him. I have a file about every Delhi factory. So I know what I'm expecting and I know what to deal with because, as I said, we are committed to the change. We are not there only, you know, just for a picnic. Because at the end of the day, the promises that we gave to the companies. Beside that is our reputation, and we never fail. And no matter how, even if it take us even beyond this project, we're not going to pull out. So this is why we do pilot concept. It's all assessing the mindset, because it changed from factory to factory geographically as well. Failure to improve, as I said, we look at improvement as a whole. My word to you. We don't look at improvement at a single targeted area. Don't embark, especially you from college, you said? Not school. From college, don't get involved. You know why I've been going for every fresh engineer? Because I believe these guys, they believe in me. In Bangladesh, every university engineers, they know about me. They call me to give them just a speech because I was the only motivated person for engineers in Bangladesh. When this industry in Bangladesh, they never trust them. Today, we start making them trust them. We had engineers, they even asked the project. They asked me, fresh people. All these projects you saw for ASDA, they were all fresh engineers. Never been in garment factory. Am I right, Richard? They never been in a garment factory. It's the thinking, gentlemen. It's a mixture of sciences and knowledge, technical knowledge, makes it happen. But now you could realize how long does it take to connect two people together, understand what Mr. Henda said, put them on. It takes a lot of effort. What's next? October 2010. I'll be here, if you want my date, October 19th. I'll be in Delhi for about 12 days. But it happens, there's Diwali festivals and all that. I think I'll do 1 week, then I'll come back November 10. It's going to be to assess the factory, what they have done, to give my recommendation, to put them in action, to lift up all these practices and processes, then come back with a second phase. It's phase number 4, build the management concept to sustain the changes. And this is why it's going to take only 2 to 3 months, because it's going to go on a quick way. I cannot build the management concept within 9 months, like you do this today, I come back after 1 month. Management concept has to be really quick. But to build concept, to make people understand, to realize, and to see, that takes time through experience. That's why we call trial and error. So this is the mission. What we have spent in Delhi, not that much, even if the project being a long time, but it's only 13 to 15 days per factory. You could see what Mr. Henda and Radnik and PM Pro and Niti, what they have accomplished. We didn't give them that much. Everything is done by them. Am I right? Everything is done by them. They were just committed to listen and follow our recommendation and learn it while they're doing it. And I'm sure they adjusted while they're going through it. This is the word that Mr. Henda was trying to tell you. At least start from somewhere. Lessons learned from Delhi. Okay, that's the last 2 slides. Lessons learned from Delhi, there's so many I learned here. A lot of good shopping in Delhi. Never embark into a journey, into a lean journey, if your top management is not really committed and start walking the floor with you. Don't never listen to people that tell you only, I'll support you. Whenever you need trouble, just give me a call. It will never work. It's improving. There's a list here. I'm not going to go over it, problem solving, improvements, all working together, trust and respect, and working together to build any company. But based on what? Based on something we need to understand in relation to value and non-value added. And how can I understand them if you have a production manager, he has no clue about even work study or engineering, and you recruit an engineer, and he cannot tell him, hey, in engineering we do this, I'm the production manager here, I have 20 years of experience, What are you expecting at the end? I'm not going to say the word, because in Bangladesh I say something else, but I'm not going to say it in Delhi. With all respect, gentlemen, I said, yourself or myself, we destroyed this industry. We didn't build it. We just kept going on what my grandfather in the past, he used to do better even, which he calls lean thinking, because he used to be like a family running a business. With the workers, with the managers, it's all based on a good heart and trust and respect. Which Delhi is not like this. Delhi can progress much bigger, much faster even than Bangladesh. Which the people here, I feel they're more committed, they're more open, to change compared to Bangladesh. This is how much, gentlemen, we are stalling. So it's the beginning. It's the beginning to Delhi. It's never-end journey. Our job is to make you realize your first standard, to put you on the first standard. Don't tell me you're going to fall asleep on first standard, because first standard is only one kick, but you're going to carry on forever. And this is where you're going to build on every manager, every work comes into your practice, into your own company, at least you have the criteria and what you call them, the recruitment criteria, to build on that basis for people to perform, to be able to be trained, to perform, to gauge, and to improve continuously all together by PDCA. That's what the lean culture is all about. I don't know if I respond. Dhanyavad. People, they told me, say shukriya in India. I said, no, this shukriya is Arabic word. I don't know which one you said. It's Dhanyavad? Both okay. Oh, both okay, okay. Thank you very much. I'll say it in English. Thank you very much. I don't know if I helped you. My objective was just to build that. Don't be influenced by lean manufacturing. What you read in Toyota, TPS, trust me, is not the same. Just carry on with lean thinking, and you will learn through experience. We learn through experience as well. It took us more than 20 years, and we're still learning until today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.